So that's the idea behind XSS. We're adding malicious JavaScript to a legitimate website. So this website was not supposed to be serving user-defined JavaScript, but it is serving user-defined JavaScript because the attacker had a way to add their own JavaScript into the resulting website. So the website, as loaded, if it was not malicious, should have no JavaScript on it or nothing malicious. But the user is somehow getting this website to change its appearance so that when it does return to the user that requested, it has some malicious JavaScript. And now the victim's browser is going to run JavaScript that is possibly malicious. Now, there's one subtle point about XSS that we should talk about, and it's the fact that cross-site scripting subverts the same origin policy. So at first glance, when you see this attack, you might say, this doesn't seem so dangerous. If the attacker visited evil.com, then evil.com could send any JavaScript that it wants. So somehow, it doesn't seem quite clear why visiting vulnerable.com is more dangerous than visiting evil.com if they both return malicious JavaScript. But the key difference is, if you run JavaScript on evil.com, that is, the user makes a request to evil.com, and it returns some malicious JavaScript, what origin does that JavaScript run with? It runs with the origin of evil.com. So it's only able to access evil.com related resources. It can modify the appearance of evil.com. It can potentially read cookies with the domain of evil.com. But the same origin policy says it cannot touch bank.com or amazon.com or any other website. So if we didn't have XSS, and the only way to give users malicious JavaScript was on evil.com, then the JavaScript runs with evil.com's origin, and it cannot touch other unrelated websites. However, cross-site scripting lets you potentially add malicious JavaScript on a different website that you don't control. So in the attack from before, the attacker didn't control vulnerable.com. That was not a web server that they owned. And still, they were able to get some malicious JavaScript onto a web page served by vulnerable.com. So when the user receives that website and runs the malicious JavaScript, whose origin does the malicious JavaScript run with? It runs with the origin of vulnerable.com. So it's able to access the vulnerable website secrets and its cookies and change its appearance. And that's why XSS is so dangerous. So anybody could send malicious JavaScript, but XSS makes it even more dangerous because it's running with the origin of the legitimate website. So if I have an XSS attack on Amazon.com, I could steal the user's Amazon-related secrets in a way that I couldn't if I was just serving them malicious JavaScript on evil.com. That's the main thing that makes XSS so dangerous.